Ranking all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure main villains from weakest to strongest, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has seen some truly powerful villains over the years, with powers ranging from surviving decapitation to speeding up the flow of time to end the universe prematurely. But when it all comes down to it, which JoJo villains are actually the strongest of them all? Because of their diverse powers and how they develop over the course of the story, ranking JoJo villains is a bit difficult. To decide which are strongest, it will help to look beyond just their combat potential, and instead at how effective their abilities are overall. Things like range, duration, and utility are far more important than just raw damage, especially when considering abilities that aren't intended for combat first and foremost. These characters sometimes have power on the level of gods, after all, so a narrow, combat-focused view would really undersell their power. Be aware that this list includes villains from parts which have not been animated, which may mean spoilers for anime-only fans. Dio Brando is the first major villain in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and plays an important role throughout the series. An adopted brother to Jonathan Joestar, Dio is a colossally cruel person, with his introduction being to kick Jonathan's dog as hard as he can, and it's all downhill from there. Dio dons the Stone Mask, a mysterious artifact which turns him into a powerful vampire, able to drink blood, regenerate wounds, hypnotize humans, and possess superhuman speed and strength. As a vampire, Dio can convert others into vampires, and his only real weakness is the power of sunlight. While Dio is quite strong in Part 1, his vulnerability to Heiman and sunlight give him a clear weakness to exploit. Dio is ultimately defeated by Jonathan after being decapitated, yet his head still lived on. Jonathan and Dio's head sank to the bottom of the sea, but Dio managed to survive by stealing Jonathan's body. Kars is one of the Pillar Men, survivors of a mysterious race of people who had incredible abilities. Kars originally created the stone mask that Dio used, hoping it would rid him of his own weakness to sunlight. In his original form, Kars is able to generate brilliant light from his body, as well as create blades that stick out of his forearms or legs, which can be used to attack. When Kars ascends to becoming the ultimate thing, he gains immortality, superhuman strength, speed, and intelligence, the ability to regenerate injuries, and the ability to modify his own body. His ability to modify his body and evolve to meet the conditions he's exposed to makes him insanely hard to kill, to the point where Joseph had to have him ejected from Earth's atmosphere and into deep space, which still didn't kill him, but merely left him unable to act. Kars is still out there floating around, alive, to this very day. Deva returns in Stardust Crusaders as the main villain, here to battle Jonathan's descendants, Joseph and Jotaro. In addition to all his vampiric powers, Dio has developed a new stand ability, the World, which allows him to freeze time for several seconds, giving him risk-free attacks on his adversaries. Dio's most famous move is to freeze time and then use his super speed to throw numerous daggers, such that it's impossible to dodge them all. Dio's time stop ability is particularly deadly, but he also has the ability to generate flesh buds with which he can control people. Adding the World to his arsenal certainly made Dio a far more threatening enemy, but Jotaro happened to have exactly the ability that was needed to subvert Dio's advantage. Still, the battle against Dio was costly, making Dio effective in a way that relatively few other JoJo villains were. Yashikage Kira is an ordinary man who happens to be a serial killer, and after being struck by the stand arrow, gained access to the stand ability Killer Queen. Killer Queen has a variety of abilities that make it extremely difficult to deal with. A simple touch from Killer Queen can cause the target to explode. The stand is also able to deploy Sheer Heart Attack, an autonomous heat-seeking bomb that tracks targets relentlessly. Then, Killer Queen has Bites the Dust, which implants a bomb that will activate under certain conditions into a target, trapping them in a time loop. Kira also picks up Stray Cat, a stand born from a dead cat, which allowed him to combine those abilities to create invisible air bombs. Because of his range of abilities that rarely require him to confront foes face-to-face, Kira was poorly trained for stand battles. Kira is eventually exposed and then dies when hit by an ambulance.